Oh, severely disappointing. Norwich City throw away a 2-goal lead to draw 2-2 at Bramell Lane against Sheffield United. Jack Reeve, Talk Norwich City, back for my review of the game. Oh, that felt like such a big opportunity that's been wasted. Teemu Pukki with 2 goals before the 20th minute. The first one absolutely gifted to him, a real howler of an error from their goalkeeper. The second, probably slightly fortunate as well. It was poor defending from them, but it was a classic Teemu Pukki run off the shoulder. Just a fairly hopeful long ball forwards that he's got onto and finishing really well one-on-one. You're 2-0 up. 16 minutes on the clock. Sheffield United, off the back of form as poor as ours at home, starting to turn on Heckingbottom and their players, and there's opportunities to make it 3-0. Josh Sargent through one-on-one. It's granted a good save from their goalkeeper, who, to be fair, after that howler of an error early on, actually had a fairly good game. Todd Cantwell should have had a penalty, a clear as day penalty on Cantwell, but you get into half time 2-0, and the complete lack of control of the game after the break was a concern. Bitterly disappointing to see how the game got away from us. We were going okay. The game was open, the game was frantic. I think both sides knew how big this was. Norwich wanted to add a third. I think they knew they were still vulnerable at 2-0, and it was so open. There were fouls all over the shop, and it just looked like Norwich just couldn't get control of the game. Osborne pops up with a decent finish, get it back to 2-1. Bramell Lane starts to turn. You know what it's like there. I think there were over 30,000 fans in there today, and they came from behind against Blackpool last week, have done so again today, so fresh in the mind are comebacks. And then Ollie McBurney scores to make it 2-2. Both goals, I think, I'm looking for wing-backs. Max Aaron's beaten to the header for the second, seemingly nowhere for the first. It was, I guess, slightly forced into it. But Dimi Anulis went off, didn't he? At what was he off? 71 minutes. It was Tony Spriggett, that came on for him, inexperienced, to go in at left back. A huge ask for him, and as soon as he comes on, they score a minute later. I'm not saying it's his fault, but it's disappointing that the complete kind of lack of depth, I guess, at wing back at the moment due to suspensions and injuries. And then, after all of that, a chance to win it at 2-2. Teemu Pukki, penalty, steps up, awful. No pace on the ball, no power on the ball. Fairly obvious which way he's going. And he just thought, hat-trick moment for Teemu. Usually so good on penalties. Like, that feels like a moment that could have potentially swung the season. I know a lot of you would have been going, Jack, you're deluded. It would have been papering over the cracks if we'd have won that. And I agree, to an extent, the performance, particularly in that second half, was poor. And there were worrying signs in that performance. But sometimes you just need something to go your way. A bit of quality. And Teemu, on a hat-trick, you would put your house on him scoring it. And then right at the end, Ollie McBurney could have won it for Sheffield United, which would have really been a sucker punch. So, filming this literally straight after full time, so much to unpack. It was an absolutely frantic game. I don't think the referee had control of it at all. I think we should have had another penalty. I think Sheffield United could have probably been disappointed with some of the decisions that went their way as well. Nice to see Isaac Hayden in there. Nice to see Dimi Anulis in there. I thought, particularly first half, Isaac Hayden was really good. I think it's clear that he's not entirely match fit, as you would expect of a man who's hardly played football in the last year. I thought Dimi Anulis added something at left back. A shame that, again, he's not match fit, so couldn't go through the entirety of the game. I think if he stays on, I think we probably get 3 points from the game. I thought Todd Cantwell was really good today. I thought defensively he put some hard yards in, and going forward he added that flair that we have become to know and love of Todd Cantwell that we probably haven't seen in recent weeks. But I thought he was good. Teemu Pukki, 2 early goals. You just bank on him to score that penalty, and not to do so leaves a real sour taste in the mouth. I think if you would have said to any Norwich fan before this game, would you take a point, you would snap their hands off. Despite Sheffield United's recent form, it's so difficult to go to Bramell Lane and get anything. It's tight in there, it's noisy, it's nasty. Sheffield United, I think, have got one of the best sides in the Championship. You look at Fleck, you look at Brewster, Sharp scores goals at this level. A couple of really good centre-backs, like quality throughout the spine there. And in the run of form that we've been in, I wasn't confident going into this. And to take a 2-goal lead, you just thought, okay, here we go. Like, is there something to cling on to? And unfortunately not. I probably went slightly early with my Dean Smith loving on Twitter, and I've been made to pay. Look, I probably deserved it. Just genuinely gutted that we couldn't win that game. I see Burnley came from 2-0 down to win 4-2. It's them up next. I'm fearful for that one, I must say. I think we really needed a win today just to calm things down a little bit, just to stop the bleed, because we are bleeding out of all areas at the moment. Down to 6th now in the division. We are 5 points behind QPR, who won again today. I think we play them, don't we? Yeah, play them on the 2nd of November, so in a couple of weeks' time. What do you say? Disappointing. Concerning as well, I think. Concerning because when you're given opportunities like that in the Championship, gifted the first goal, second goal was a nice finish but poor defending, you have to take them. You have to take those kind of chances, and the criticism that Dean Smith will receive tonight is probably justified. Probably with this game in isolation, even ignoring the recent form, because you would expect a manager who's managing the Premier League, seen promotions through the Championship, to be canny enough to get through that game, and we didn't. Some positives, as I mentioned earlier, some good individual performances. Pleasing to see Hayden and Yanulis back. I think their reintroduction to the side can only be a good thing. And I thought Josh Sargent once again was really good today, and I'd love to see him through the middle. But despite getting a point, that almost feels more gutting than losing to Luton and Preston, because it was in our hands. So there we go. Dean Smith will take flack tonight, and it's justified, I'm afraid, because that was bitterly disappointing. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. Norwich City draw to Sheffield United 2-2. Pukki with the goals for Norwich, Osborne and McBurney on the score sheet for the home side. Jack Reeve, Talk Norwich City. Over and out.